Well, here we are. Another day, another 12, 14 hours has gone by, and guess what? Another set of classified documents were found at Joe Biden's Delaware home, where he actually is spending the weekend. The criminal returns to the scene of the crime, I guess you'd say. Hey, everybody, Damon Roberts here. Welcome back to another weekend video here. Just a quick one to get you updated on what's going on, what happened this morning, what happened overnight. You know, with Joe, you never know what's going to happen. In every set of 12 to 24 hours, like I told you a couple days ago, this was not going to be just 10 documents. This was not going to just be one location. This is not going to be two locations. We probably haven't seen the end of it yet the more they start looking. I'm still waiting for the FBI raid here on all the Biden properties, all the Hunter Biden properties, all of Joe's brother's properties. Why haven't we gone through all of it at this point? Well, here's what happened this morning. First of all, let me remind you that this video, of course, is brought to you by our friend Mike Lindell, mypillow.com. Use our code LFS6B at checkout for 10 to 60% off. Inadvertently misplaced, folks. That's the saying of the weekend. That's going to be the phrase of the first half of 2023. Inadvertently misplaced. If you haven't checked out our new t-shirt, Inadvertently Misplaced, you can do that at 6bshirts.com. But yes, that's right. Another set of classified documents were found at President Joe Biden's Delaware home last night. The White House revealed this morning 5 additional pages with classification markings were found during proceedings regarding earlier discovered classified documents, Senior White House advisor Ian Sams said on Saturday. The discovery comes after a set of classified materials was found in Biden's garage at his Delaware home on Wednesday. Corvette safe, don't worry. Another set of documents was discovered late last year at the former private office of Biden's, with the existence of those documents becoming public, obviously, this month. Sams, in a statement to Mediaite, said that he had traveled to Delaware on Thursday of this week, quote, to facilitate providing the document the president's personal counsel found on Wednesday to the Justice Department. And one of the questions we've been asking is, who are these Biden attorneys? Number one, why are we just supposed to take their word for it, what they found, when they found it, where they found it? And more importantly, are any of them have the ability to actually handle classified documents? Well, we actually have our answer to that today, and you can guess the answer is a big fat, well, no. Back to this, Sam said, while I was transferring it to the DOJ officials who accompanied me, 5 additional documents with classification markings were discovered among the material with it, for a total of 6 pages, Sam says. The DOJ officials with me immediately took possession of them. Well, that's at least DOJ officials took them this time, because up to now it's just been Biden's attorneys. Attorney General Merrick Garland earlier this week announced the appointment of a special counsel to investigate the circumstances surrounding the classified document discoveries. Sams, in his statement on, actually it was this morning, reaffirmed that the White House, quote, will cooperate with the newly appointed special counsel. Well, that's all well and good, but it just doesn't matter. It's like Joe keeps telling us how seriously he takes classified material. We don't care how Joe thinks about it or talks about it. We care about what he's done as the former vice president of the United States that had no declassification power. And these now, we find out these classification documents. So I've been sitting around for 6-7 years in a home that we know, number one, has been rented. There's a cottage on the property. Hunter Biden's been on the property. Hunter Biden may own the property. We know the security system failed so many times. When he was vice president in 2015, this Secret Service had to shut the damn security system down because it didn't work. So there are so many questions. And again, why is this all happening now? That is the question. Who was it that blew the whistle? Who was it that said enough is enough? This has to get out. Why did they decide now? All questions that seemingly still need to be answered. Now, in another update on one of the questions that we've been asking about on who these attorneys are of Biden's, why do we have to be taking their word for it? Do any of them have a clearance to be handling classified information? Who saw what? Who did what with what? How did the classified information even get to Delaware from the Penn Biden think tank? How did it get there? Who moved it? Who handled it? Were they able to handle classified documents? Well, in the Washington Times this morning, Joseph Clark has an update on that. He said President Biden's stash of classified documents reportedly, listen up now, included material marked top secret the nation's highest classification level. The highly classified material was recovered among approximately the first 10 classified documents at Mr. Biden's think tank in the fall. A federal official familiar with the investigation told CBS News. Top secret material could pose exceptionally grave danger to national security if leaked. Yeah, if leaked. Now, you put it in a garage with a Corvette at Biden's house in Delaware, where Hunter Biden's hanging out with hookers and Chinese and the CCP that have paid him for the last 10 years. Could be a problem. Yeah, could be. Very good. Good analysis there. Fewer than 10 classified documents were discovered at Mr. Biden's residence in Wilmington, Delaware, bringing the total number of classified documents to approximately 20 between the two locations. Now, remember, when we heard it was just 10, I said you could probably times that by 10. So we've already doubled it, and I'd say we're still not done if you ask me. None of the documents recovered so far from the residence were marked top secret. Those were only at the Penn Biden think tank. Federal law strictly forbids the removal or retention of classified documents or materials outside secured locations without authorization, which Mr. Biden, as vice president in the Obama White House, would not have had. And of course, that's what continues to be missed on the talking heads who grab the pom-poms and jump up and down for the vice president and say, just leave him alone. He was just a little sloppy. You know, the Espionage Act, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter what it actually says, gross negligence, which if this is not gross negligence, I don't know what is. I thought Hillary Clinton was a slam dunk gross negligence. And then, of course, Comey kind of rewrote the law and told us no reasonable prosecutor would prosecute. If this isn't gross negligence, I have no idea what is. I don't even know why we have the law if this is not gross negligence. The White House confirmed that classified government documents dating back to Mr. Biden's time as vice president in the Obama White House were discovered at a Washington office building that he used when he was the honorary professor at the University of Pennsylvania. Honorary professor basically means you don't have to do anything. The documents were discovered on November 2nd, just 6 days before the midterm election. The matter only became public when uncovered by CBS News. Well, who went to CBS News and why did they go to them would be the question. A second batch of classified documents was later found, as we know, in Mr. Biden's garage by White House aides. Mr. Biden's staff notified the Justice Department that it had discovered the second batch on December 20th. Mr. Biden said the second batch was discovered near his prized 1967 Corvette Stingray. The president's classified document woes have compounded his political headaches as he weighs a 2024 re-election bid and it has put him on the defensive in the last half of his remaining term. House Republicans, now in the majority, have pledged an investigation into Mr. Biden's mishandling of classified material. Attorney General Merrick Garland is now also appointed a special prosecutor, as we know. Mr. Garland appointed Robert Hur, a former U.S. attorney in Maryland, who was appointed by President Trump as special counsel to look into the document situation. Mr. Hur is the second special counsel appointed by Mr. Garland in the past 3 months. In November, he named Jack Smith to oversee the investigation into President Trump's, including whether he illegally stored classified documents at his residence and office at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida. And as I've been saying, there is no similarity between these two cases. Biden's is so much worse for all the factors that we know. He was the vice president, not the president. He didn't have declassification ability. He didn't have the ability to take these documents. It's a felony for anyone outside of the president, and the president would have to show that he declassified them, or President Obama would have to come forward and say he declassified them, but they were marked as classified. Now we learned some are marked top secret. So Biden's back is right up against the wall here. He has no excuse. This is absolutely gross negligence, exactly what the Espionage Act reads. Gross negligence in handling of classified information. That's exactly what this is. Do I expect we're going to get to that point? Absolutely not. But let's call it what it is. This is gross negligence to the nth, 100th, 10th, whatever the highest level is. That's the degree that this is gross negligence to. Now, one more thing I want to show you. That was an announcement put out this morning by White House counsel, which the press briefing room, which, by the way, I give them credit. They haven't taken any nonsense from that imbecile in there trying to be the press secretary. They have pushed and pushed and pushed, Even people who we haven't expected to push. Don Lemon pushed Chuck Schumer the other night. CNN, that whole panel pushed Chuck Schumer on the double standard between the Trump and the Biden situation, which is way, way worse. But here is what White House counsel put out just this morning. Statement from Richard Sauber, special counsel to the president. President Biden's personal attorneys have followed a process coordinated with the archives and the Department of Justice to review documents at the Penn Biden Center and the president's Delaware residence. The president's personal attorneys conducting the searches do not have active security clearances. Let me read that again, because this is a question we have been asking. The president's personal attorneys conducting the searches do not have active security clearances. So if they identified a document with a classified marking, they stopped, and did not review it, and suspended any further search in that box, file, or other specific space where the document was found as appropriate. Since the DOJ made contact with the president's personal attorneys, the next step in the process was to notify the DOJ and to arrange for DOJ to take possession of the document. This is what occurred in Wilmington on Wednesday when the president's personal attorneys discovered one more document with a classified marking consisting of one page in a room adjacent to the garage. At that point, the president's personal attorneys stopped searching the immediate area where the document was found. Continuing, because I have a security clearance, I went to Wilmington on Thursday evening to facilitate providing the document the president's personal counsel found on Wednesday to the Justice Department. While I was transferring it to the DOJ officials who'd accompany me, 5 additional pages with classification markings were discovered among the material with it, for a total now of 6 documents. The DOJ officials with me immediately took possession of them. The president's lawyers have acted immediately and voluntarily to provide the Penn Biden documents to the archives and the Wilmington documents to the DOJ. We have now publicly released specific details about the documents identified, how they were identified, and where they were found. The appointment of a special counsel in this matter this week means we will now refer specific questions to the special counsel's office moving forward. As I said Thursday, the White House will cooperate with the newly appointed special counsel. There you have it, folks. 5 more documents for a total of 6 in the location where Joe Biden is spending the weekend. I wonder what could be going on there this weekend. I wonder if there's another stash that maybe only Joe knows about somewhere. I wonder if him and Hunter are getting together for a little discussion on maybe where else things are. What other documents are floating around, Joe? Where else on the Northeast have it? Do we have in the trunk of any other cars? Are there any other cars that we forgot about that they might be in? Does anyone think that this is the end of this? As I told you when this started, it's going to be more than 10 documents. It's going to be more than one location. And I venture to say we still haven't seen the end of it. At least maybe we've seen the end of what we're going to hear about. Well, we'll see. Because there's somebody out there who wanted to get this out into the public for some reason now, because we would have never known about this story. CBS was not on the trail of these documents. Somebody went to them and started this whole process unraveling. And those are the questions we really want to know. Who is it? Is it someone from the Obama administration? Is it Susan Rice? Is it someone who says that's enough time for Joe? Let's get her out of here. What is the story behind how this started? Who leaked it? Who was the whistleblower? That's what we want to know. All right, folks, there's your update for a weekend. Hope you're enjoying it. Make sure you visit our sponsor, Mike Lindell, mypillow.com/LFS6B, and make sure you check out our new store, Inadvertently Misplaced, the new t-shirts. Maybe the hottest seller we've ever had, because this is the phrase you're going to hear for all of 2023. Inadvertently misplaced, that is. Joe, it's top secret. You can check that out at 6bshirts.com. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one.